There's one more big story we're tracking: shifting focus to education reforms from 2026. Class 10 students will be able to take the CBSE board exam twice in an academic session, or choose between the two editions, one in February, another in May. As per the draft norms, the first phase of the exams will be held from February 17 to March 6th, while the second phase will be conducted from May 5th to 20th. The Central Board of Secondary Education on Tuesday approved draft norms, which will now be put in the public domain, and the stakeholders can submit their feedback by March 9th, following which the policy will be finalized. And we have a guest joining us live right now with us, Saloni Khanna, educationist, entrepreneur, and economist, joining us live. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Saloni Khanna. I just want to ask you that first, this is a proposal. Stakeholders have to submit their feedback by March 9th, but anyhow, it looks like that the board exams are very likely for the CBSE students twice a year. If you could take our viewers through what do you really think about this proposal?
So this proposal is a landmark shift in education reforms in India. You know, under new education policy, flexibility is one of the most important criteria. And also when we talk about new education policy, we want to match it up to global curriculum. So you see, if we talk about SAT, if we talk about IB, which is International Board, all these people give you multiple shots at taking exams, but when it comes to CBSE, we only had one shot system. So I see this move as a double opportunity for students to be able to prove themselves. However, we must understand that challenges regarding implementation stay put, because CBSE is working with more than 25,000 schools and more than 35 lakh students. So how we will solve the infrastructural problems, then the burden of exam, if it's twice the year, parents will also have to look into it, teachers will also have to manage the infrastructure. But the biggest challenge that I see is that there's no clarity as to best of both the exams will be considered or an average of both the exams will be taken. So if such clarity would be there, it will be helpful for students, teachers, and parents. But I see this move as a revolutionary move, because we are introducing interdisciplinary study, we are introducing flexibility, plus we are also trying to reduce stress of students. You see, if they have only one shot at the exam, the stress is immense and they associate life and death to the exam. But if we give them two shots, maybe it would ease out the pressure and the stress would be reduced. So that's how I look at this move.
Also, Saloni Khanna, if I can ask you one more question, because the guidelines have been set. So there's a guidelines for examination centers. Sports students can appear in one of the two exams, not have separate exams. And so there seems to be, and if you could talk a little bit more on this, a little bit more flexibility for the students, given the fact that some of the students would need flexibility, because there is a facility for children with special needs as well. So these are some of the changes in the proposal.
Yeah, all these are very progressive steps, but when I talk about flexibility, I talk about the flexibility to be able to choose which disciplines you want to study in, or to be able to choose whether you want to take a certain set of subjects or you want to opt for another set of subjects. However, you see, all these things are very good on paper, but the real challenge remains when it comes to implementation. Due to scarcity of infrastructure and resources, we are already struggling with teacher-student ratio. How will we be able to implement all these things? Conducting board exam is a huge paraphernalia. So doing it twice a year, then with all these nitty-gritties woven in, how long will it take to be able to adapt to these new systems? Also, how universities will perceive the system. Some of the students go out to study after 10th standard. So how will we be able to find those linkages? I think all those questions still remain unanswered, but the intent of this move seems to be very progressive, because as I told you, it is offering flexibility and interdisciplinary study. And also, you see, students in India, more than 85% students in India have exam stress, and it is one of the biggest reasons that students are going into depression. So giving them multiple opportunity and having this intent, if executed well, I see it as a very progressive step.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. That was Saloni Khanna joining us here, educationist, entrepreneur, and economist on the new the changes to the CBSE board exams.